Imagine sitting in a classroom. It's a Thursday morning, March the 16th of 2023. You are 10 years old, staring at the chalkboard, listening to your teacher explain a math problem. But beneath your teacher's voice, there is another sound, a rhythmic thud. It seems like it's coming directly beneath your shoes. The teachers at Globe and Phoenix Primary School had been hearing this sound for months. They complained, they wrote letters, and they warned that the ground beneath their feet is hollow. But the lessons continued until 8 a.m. You see, this story was all over the news. Many teachers and students constantly heard mysterious sounds of thudding beneath the floor. Now, if you and I are on the same page, we have this one question: what was under the classrooms? And what happened to the 41 children that was in that classroom? Many claimed that this school had swallowed its students. Right in the middle of a lesson, the concrete floor of the classroom simply vanished. It didn't just break, it folded inward, plunging into a dark-like looking cave, an abyss where the mysterious sounds had been coming from. In an instant, 41 children vanished into the chaos. Desks, chairs, and all the students vanished into the ground. In the surrounding villages, a horrifying rumor spread. The ground had opened up and the school had eaten its students. This is the terrifying true story of the Globe and Phoenix Primary School collapse. Located in the Midlands province of Zimbabwe, Kwekwe is a city which is known as the City of Gold. Over a century ago, the Globe and Phoenix mine was established here, eventually becoming one of the richest gold mines in the entire world. But as the official gold mines industry slowed down over the decades, a new industry emerged, which was known as the Makorokoza. This was a new, far more dangerous economy of artisanal illegal miners, driven by severe economic hardships and high unemployment rates. Over 1.5 million people have turned into illegal mining activities. And in Kwekwe, the gold isn't just in the mountains. It runs directly beneath the streets, the houses, and the schools. The Makorokoza operate in shadows, armed with nothing but pickaxes, headlamps, and sheer desperation. There are no structural engineers, there are no safety supports. If they find a gold reef, they follow it, even if it runs directly beneath a building filled with 1,300 children. For months leading up to the disaster, the staff at the Globe and Phoenix Primary School knew something was happening. Teachers constantly heard and reported sounds of muffin digging underneath the classrooms. Sometimes the floors would vibrate. The school sent desperate warnings to local authorities. They pleaded for an intervention, citing illegal miners encroaching on the school grounds. But the lure of gold is a powerful silencer. The warnings were ignored. The illegal tunnel mining was continued. It created a hollow web directly beneath the foundation of the classrooms. It was a ticking bomb. On a quiet Thursday in March, the time ran out. March 16, 2023, morning classes had just begun, and children between the age of 10 and 11 were seated into their wooden desks. Suddenly, the floor gave up. No warning, no earthquake, just the concrete floor tearing apart. There was a horrific sound coming from the ground, swallowing desks, chairs, and the children. There was a massive sinkhole, and the floor was vanished inward, creating a deadly funnel. Panic erupted. Heavy metal desks and chairs and students as well tumbled into the sinking gap, surrounded by a blinding cloud of dust and dirt. As the floor fell away, 14 children plunged into the dark abyss. In adjacent rooms, the sound of the collapse triggered an absolute pandemonium. Some students, desperate to escape from the chaos, they howled out of the windows, suffering deep fractures and injuries. Inside the collapse, a miracle was unfolding in the dark. The Makorokoza had dug up incredibly deep, but the children didn't fall to the end of the mine shaft. Why? Because the heavy wooden desks and chairs that had fell in first had wedged a space against the narrow of the sinkhole cave. They created a makeshift, a precarious barricade just a few meters down. The 14 children who fell into the hole landed on this terrifying suspended pile of furniture. The suspended pile of wooden heavy desks and chairs into the hole had saved the children into falling a few meters deep onto the rocky tunnels. Within minutes, the Kwekwe community descended on the school with absolute terror. Parents rushed to the gates of the school, screaming for their children. Word had spread through the city that the school had eaten up its children. Emergency responders and alongside the brave teachers and parents helped the children out of the terrifying sinkhole. One by one, they managed to pull out the 14 children which were trapped underneath the classroom ground. The Zimbabwe Civil Protection Unit immediately swooped in and condemned the Globe and Phoenix Primary School. It was permanently shut down. For 2 years, students were forced to learn in makeshift tents on a nearby sports ground. But the wind, dust, and rains affected the children's concentration on their academics. The parents withdrew their students from the Globe and Phoenix Primary School due to fear. It seemed like the Makorokoza had won, but the story does not end in the dirt. In late 2025, after a massive funding from international donors, a brand new safe 600,000 complex was built on solid ground to replace the condemned building. The children of Kwekwe finally returned to the real classrooms. Yet the haunting image of that gaping hole in the classroom floor remains one of the Zimbabwe's scar in the conscience. The Globe and Phoenix collapse was a man-made disaster, forced and driven by desperation. And this brings me to a very interesting question. How much of Kwekwe is still hollow underneath? Right now, as millions of illegal miners continue to dig in the dark, what are other foundations secretly waiting to fall? Thank you to all the real Drinka Mafia. Thank you for the amazing support. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe. Our goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers before the year end. And if you are a new viewer, please subscribe to be part of the Drinka Mafia. Love, peace, and mercy.